got to give respect. You guys want respect, y'all have to give it. I am your leader. I am the one that won by 82%. I am the one that carry you, trustee Jason House, you, Anna Belcher that never wins anything, over the hump. That's why you guys have your seats that you have before you. So when you get in these board meetings and you act a fool, y'all should stop. Because at the end of the day, all we've been doing, everybody, is fighting since I became mayor. If y'all want to be leaders, y'all got to act like it. Y'all know y'all not leaders. Y'all followers. Stop following each other, because nobody can lead nobody in your group. Not one of y'all.
This just chaotic board meeting that happened yesterday. The beacon of light, Tiffany Henyard, is feeling the pressure. She is definitely feeling the pressure from all of the media attention. I want to discuss my insights when I watched that video last night and earlier today. My observations from just watching a lot of videos, checking out the news stories, talking to Dalton residents. You guys are already in the chat. I had a really eye-opening phone call earlier today from two amazing people, and my head was spinning. It was so much to take in, but it made sense when I hear all of the situations that's happening here in Dalton. Things started to connect with me, right? In my opinion, Mayor Henyard is a predator. She's exhibiting predatory behavior. Like, to me, a predator targets the vulnerable to exploit and manipulate for personal gain. She has demonstrated that, in my opinion. And I think opinion for a lot of people. But this is what we're dealing with this mayor and some of the people who are running this situation here. She's a predator. She exploits vulnerable people. This may not be the best analogy, but I'm making a video about this guy, so I'm going to talk about it. But Vince McMahon is someone that I'm sure if you guys check the news, you see some of the things he's been accused of, and it's pretty disgusting stuff. And people kind of always knew there was something up with him, but I don't think they knew it was to this extent. But why I'm comparing it is because as much as he tried to make it seem like he was a decent guy, he played a character on his wrestling program, WWE wrestling program, back in the day, back in the 90s. And what he did in his character, Mr. McMahon, was a man that was vindictive. He exploited people. He did whatever it took to prevail, any means necessary to prevail, to manipulate, to exploit others without any remorse, right? And then it turned out that it looks like, according to some of the reports, he basically is that person. He wasn't acting when he was doing the wrestling bit. That was who he is. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of what I have seen thus far is something similar to that. The mayor's lack of transparency, the vindictiveness, the intimidation tactics. This just brings to why we have such a chaotic and unproductive meeting, and how everyone just looks frustrated, angry. It's just this deep-seated corruption is probably because of the leader. She complains about how you guys can't be leaders. We'll probably watch that clip too. You guys can't be leaders. I'm the leader. You guys can't even handle being a leader. When you see a group of people arguing and fighting, or a team arguing and fighting, right? Or a family sometimes arguing and fighting, the blame needs to be placed at the top. Who is the leader of this? Who's the leader of that 3-hour meeting with all they did was beat each other up? Who's the leader? Who are they all following, right? In terms of following the mood, the energy, who's at the top of the bill? It's the mayor. She sits at the very top, right in the middle. So for her to not take accountability for how things are going just shows the kind of person that she is. And we'll see through some of these clips that there was some really odd things happening. Everyone that was on her side said the same stuff as if they all had a script, or they all had to do something to keep her loyalty or show their loyalty to her. So we'll have a lot to go into, chaos, incompetence, corruption, and blind loyalty. Like, that's all those things kind of come together to where we are right now. But she also is not paying the vendors. And one guy came in and he was looking for his money. And that was at least one of them that I was able to hear.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, other officers, and resident of Dalton. My name is Golzar Singh, president of Pan Oceanic Engineering Company. We are underground contractors, and I have done a waterman job for city of Dalton. It's been over 4 months and I haven't got paid. And I think county recently has transferred the funds to the village. So I'm just here to request that I need to get paid because I have a lot of bills on that job we have to pay. And being a minority contractor, I don't have too much money either. So I need your help to please get paid. I would greatly appreciate it. Working with the village and everybody else.
Now, if I'm the leader, I would be embarrassed. This man is like, I don't have enough money. We did this work. Where's our money? I had to come to this meeting and say, we haven't paid in months. We need to get paid for the job done. I would be embarrassed. I wouldn't just let him just go sit down and, oh yeah, just, talk to so-and-so. I'm like, you would say, if I did something terrible to someone, like didn't pay, I was like, yo, I'm really sorry for this. We really messed up. We try to make it right. But this is routine. A lot of people are looking for their money. It's incompetence, it's corruption, and it's chaos. And if you've already seen the meeting, why are they so loyal to this person? Why each of them had their own rendition of you guys are the bad guys, and she's amazing. Who cares if she eats on our dime, traveling across the country? She's amazing. Like you guys need to stop and work. Basically, just bow down, right? Sign off these checks because she's great, regardless of all of the information that we've all seen. Why they do it? Now, this clip I'm going to show you is at first when she said it, I didn't understand because she talks really fast. And I noticed that sometimes I talk fast and I realize that I need to slow down because when you talk really fast, people don't understand all the words that you are saying. And she be going like a million miles a minute to a point where one thing I wish I had her energy. Now, I'm not going to speculate on how she has this energy. I remember in the last live stream, people had a lot of different theories on why she's able to go 1,000 miles a minute, just going. But she said secret squirrel meeting, but I didn't at first. I'm like, what meeting? Like, what's that? But she said it a few more times. So the secret squirrel meeting, the meeting that she was invited to by the other trustees, but all of a sudden I wasn't invited. They're just doing secret stuff, even though again, she was invited to the meeting, but she's going to talk about that in the next clip right here.
Mayor vetoing a couple things from January 2nd, 2024, regular board meeting. So I'm vetoing that. And that was the budget. So for those that don't know, the Board of Trustees had their own little secret squirrel meeting and took things out of the budget that's needed for community. So I am vetoing what they have done. I'm asking again for you guys to go back to the drawing board and add those things back in the budget so we come back to the next board meeting. This body up here will have what they need because the department heads, y'all did not talk to them. Y'all didn't ask them what they needed. Y'all just made a decision without even talking to the people that run the day-to-day operation, especially police department, fire department, public works, them the main three, because them are the ones where we get the services from. As I relates to police, you guys know that evening we had promoted people. And when we did that, I don't understand why y'all would go cut a budget when we promoted people. That means an increase in payroll. And then you guys know that we have union contracts for all three that's pending. So that's, again, why would you cut when you know we fund an increase on salaries for all three? And these are contracts way before me. And I just wish that you guys will communicate with people before making decisions and you don't know how you harming the people. And then also the
reason why it's even a discussion about cutting the police budget is because she is requesting all this security. I forgot what was email. I forgot the word Secret Service. She spent so much money and these cops are making so much money in overtime that it must be a response. Like, hey, you can't just continue to do that. The police are not going in the other areas. The allocation of resources are going into the wrong place. That's why we're seeing the issues that happened with, the shooting that happened a couple of days ago. You're spending too much money with security. Now, if you're making, about $300K, maybe you can get some private security. I'm not sure how that works, but at the same time, at least you're spending some of your money instead of running up the bill with your security to go from one job to the next. Because again, she has two jobs. She's the mayor, then she's the supervisor, so she's able to, so she's basically, these guys are following her all the time and getting massive amount of money in overtime. Where's the rest of the resources? It's being bled dry. So the rest of the cops are dealing with a lot of problems where they don't have the necessary resources because she's spending it all, but then turns around and say, well, trustees are the ones who are trying to cut the budget for the police officers. Who does that? Very manipulative. She is extremely she's gifted at that manipulation, changing that narrative. I don't know if it's just her or someone else is training her to do this, but for her to flip it on everyone else's fault, it's not me. I don't want to cut the budget. I'm running up the budget. I need security. And this is where we are right now.
Garbage, the trash, the homewood disposal. We need our trash picked up. So I'll say this again, guys. Can you put that back in? Because the residents need the garbage picked up. So I don't want any problems as it relates to getting garbage picked up by you guys taking it out of the budget. So I want to just point those things out for that one veto. The next veto is on January 24th, 2024. There was another secret squirrel board meeting that the Board of Trustees had at a secret location. When they did that, I am vetoing all the things. One is they did approval.
It wasn't a secret location. You knew where it was. You could have pulled up. What are you talking about? We mean like secret squirrel meeting. The squirrels meet up and like, what is that? I mean, I remember the cartoon Secret Squirrel. I think it was like an Asian, he had all the gadgets. Okay, I'm ranting. Never mind, let's continue.
A settlement agreement for, of course, the legislative attorney, Oderson. I don't understand how a person can possibly do something like that, but I'll get to that later on. And then also they did approval of outstanding invoices for him. And they also did something about not putting your name on communications that come from a village. That's just nonsense. So that's the type of things that they did, and I am vetoing those things. So
nonsense? So let's go back to what she was saying. Putting your things, your name. Let's rewind it real quick. Just what she said.
Just nonsense. So outstanding invoices for him, and they also did something about not putting your name on communications that come from a village. That's just nonsense.
No. This was about her blasting her face on every single billboard all over town. And she's using it as a way to promote herself politically. So the trustees were saying, let's stop this. Let's not put our big faces on billboards in order to get more power politically. Let's just put the services that's necessary, that are provided with the numbers and what you can get. Let's not put our big faces on there. Let's not try to be slick. So what she's talking about is nonsense. I think that was a good idea. But of course, why would she want to engage? She's participating in that. She's trying to develop that cult of personality so people can look at her in a positive light so she continue to have power here.
So that's the type of things that they did, and I am vetoing those things. So I just want to make sure I read them into record.
All right. Well, if you guys have seen this meeting, put in the comments, let me know what you've seen, some of the highlights or the lowlights at this point. I think this is probably the cringiest moment. I may be mistaken. There were a lot of them, but the way she was talking, it was very, very interesting. I'll say that.
Go ahead, Kim. You have the floor, code enforcement.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Good evening, trustees, residents. I'm Kim, and my report is brief. It's always four or 5 words. We wrote 142 tickets, and we collected $24,624. But tonight, I'm offended and I'm appalled because I moved to Dalton to become a part of the change that I want to see. And it's funny that someone could say, yeah, because don't nobody want to work here. Who want to work in a hostile environment and deal with people like you guys? Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to sit up here at the board meeting every month. I make an excuse not to be here because this is pathetic. No other municipality, no other board meeting do you see people being disrespected to the mayor or the person that's in charge of the meeting. Disrespect has gone on too far. And as far as budget cuts, when people call about dogs, we the ones that go get those dogs. But if you guys not willing to give us what it is that we need in our budget to continue to pick up dogs, we can't do our jobs. I don't like the fact that down my block where I live, it's dark. We need street lights. I got a couple senior neighbors and veterans that need roofs and windows. And everything has been stagnated because no one wants to do the right thing, and that's to put the interests of the residents first. We got to do better as a people. We have to do better as a people. Come on, y'all. This is sad. It's sickening. I don't know how you guys go home and live with yourself at night and knowing that all this is about this lady. This lady is about these people.
Notice that's the second person. I think it's multiple said she's for the people. Did they all get an email? They all get a text message. This is what you say. Remix it however you want it, but make sure that you always say, at least once, mayor's for the people and you guys are for yourselves. I'm disgusted. I'm appalled. I'm not gonna put some of the chat I've seen. She seems real chill. I'll say that.
So let's just make it about these people, which is me included. I'm a resident in Dalton as well. No one ever talks about the great things that's being done. Only thing you hear on the news is, yeah, she spent the money. Miss Lightfoot, when she go out of town, she's staying in presidential suites. She's steak and lobster.
Look at the face of Look at the face of the dude. Is that is the fire chief, right? He just look at his eyes close. Like, I can't believe I'm here. And I can't believe she's talking about, first of all, Mayor Lightfoot is not the mayor anymore. Is she? You let me know. Okay, thank you, Johnson. So she couldn't say the current mayor. I mean, and who cares? Who cares if she had lobster? Laura Lightfoot had lobster too. No one complained about that. I mean, I don't know. I think Lightfoot had a lot of complaints about a lot of different things. Someone should have gave her the full script and had her read it. Because I don't know if this helped. It just really cringe, and I feel tough for that guy. He just closes his eyes like, I can't believe she's saying this.
But because she's doing it because she's a young Black woman, it's something wrong with that.
Yes.
Change and growth is uncomfortable.
Corruption is uncomfortable too. And intimidation, and lack of transparency and hiding what you're doing. That hurts a lot. So, just saying.
Just like when your feet grew from a 5.5 to a 6 and you tried to put that small shoe on your feet, it hurt.
It hurted.
Come on. Let's come together and figure something out. The world is looking at us make fools of ourselves. I don't even know what the position of a trustee is or what a trustee does.
Shouldn't she know that? Shouldn't she know like what a trustee? Shouldn't she know that? I mean, she's enforcement. Should she have an idea of what they do? Is she just being funny or being? Because she says I don't know, or she legit just don't know. So I don't even know what y'all doing. Just let the man do everything. Yeah. She did not look good. Mike says, check out her background. Yes, I have heard quite a good amount about her background.
And if somebody is going to run for mayor, I'd like to see what you're going to bring to the table or what you're offering, other than a smear campaign on the mayor that we have sitting now.
Yeah.
Who gonna run? Who gonna run?
What does that have to do? What is going on in this meeting with the agenda and the things that need to get taken care of? So the mayor told her what to say. The people who are backing her up are saying they're trying to take me out politically. So you must respond by saying, again, for the people, they're not, they're the terrible, selfish ones. They're the corrupt ones. I'm your savior. So talk accordingly.
The plan. Since we gonna kick her down and everything she's putting out there is bad, come on, somebody with an idea, suggestion. Tell us what you got. Give us an option. Because right now we don't have an option.
We don't. There is no one else that can do this. There's nobody else. No one else can run the being a mayor and run the township. No one can do it. This is all we got, y'all. Who gonna run? Who gonna run? So a part of a cult or running a team of people that you can manipulate and exploit. So going back to that Vincent McMahon analogy, when you are searching for your next prey, you need people that you can control. Well, how can you find that? You find people who are in need, they have a void, they need something. It looks like for many of the people that Henyard has hired, she's hired people who never had the kind of money that she's paying them right now, have criminal backgrounds, which probably stops them from getting other types of positions that they can make this kind of money. She grabs them out of nowhere, puts them in places they probably are not equipped to do or have the competence to do, right? Or even if they are competent, she gives them the kind of power and money they will never, ever get anywhere else without, hard work and all that type of thing. So they have to back her up. They have to run the play. They gotta run the play. If they're not running the play, she will replace them with someone else that needs that pick-me-up, who wants that 5-figure, 6-figure position. So that's why it's blind loyalty, but it's loyalty of, wow, I'm actually making more money than I've ever made in my life. I get able to take care of my family. Yeah, she's doing some weird stuff, but she's so nice because every 2 weeks, I'm getting that check. You know what? They're mean to her. She's actually a good person. I mean, this is the mental gymnastics that a person that is under that kind of cult of personality is adjusting, because you have to get up in the morning and keep going. So you have to put this in a position that, yeah, it's not that bad. And they're just being mean and I'm being taken care of. These are the kind of people that she has around her circle. Many of these people have some shady past. They have some shadiness in their past. And this mayor is, again, you're going to love me no matter what. I pick you out of obscurity and poverty, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going deep into their lives, but gives them that great position, gives them the money, and she's able to consolidate her power. Jeffrey says it right. Power, money and power motivate. Yeah. And Kathleen says it's being a doormat for crumbs. But you'd be surprised. I mean, what we consider crumbs could be so much where you throw away your sense of morality, throw away your own principles for a position, a job. Many people do it. I wanted to check out William Moore's video. William Moore's, because I thought his grandstanding was actually pretty epic as well.
Next, we have housing. William Moore.
Good afternoon, Mayor, our Board of Trustees, our department heads, and to our precious citizens. Mayor, if I can just say, just for clarification, Trustee Holmes and Trustee Stan Brown have been in support of your vision. So every one of our department heads up here, we work interdepartmentally. If one is affected with the budget, we're all affected. And as the Director of Housing and Business Licensing, we try and turn this village around. Not at one point have we got into a meeting with our leader and she said what the previous administration has done. But I'm going to let you know, we came in and it was a mess. I worked in the water department, worked in housing. There's some very simple things that just weren't in place. And I see some of the faces, the same faces, but I'm gonna tell you, it is affecting our residents. And at some point, we have to, we're not talking about agreement. We talk about what you're elected to do, and it's to serve our citizens. And we as a department head, me as a department head, we struggle when we don't get the resources that we need to satisfy our residents. And I'm surprised that the residents who are not getting these services are not saying more about that, because we work tirelessly. So when they say we don't work, no, we're working tirelessly. I mean, it's 7:30 in the morning, sometimes 8, 9 o'clock at night. Why? Because it is a great need. So I'll leave it at this and I'll give my report. So I appreciate you hearing me out. But at what point as leaders do we have a conviction about taking care of the people's business? Because that's why
the grandstanding and the lecturing as if everyone is just stupid and hasn't figured all this out. And for him to stand up there and say, why is things are not working, and put all of the problems on one side. You would think as a mayor, right? Or any kind of leader, doesn't matter, mayor, teacher, coach. If you have a divided locker room, one of the things you would do if you're the coach or the team president, whatever you want to call it, is start blaming one side of this group and not look at the other side and say, well, what are you doing to contribute to this situation? But again, this is all, yeah, that's a good, I don't use a lot of buzzwords like that, but yeah, gaslighting. It's like a lot of gaslighting. Like you're just trying to piss. I mean, that's when Jason House he starts cleaning house. She's a master of it. Henyard is a master of gaslighting, saying things to get under your skin for you to react aggressively. Then she turns around with the long lecture like that she did later on in the video.
Discussion.
Yes, Mayor, I have a comment.
All right.
I have a comment. I'm gonna follow it with a superseding motion. Alternative, got Tiffany Jaroski's direction on that. However, I'm gonna say this in terms of kind of all the things that have been said. First, I want to commend Trustee Norwood, Trustee Tammy Brown, Trustee Kiana Belcher.
Trustee.
The floor is mine, Mayor.
Trustee.
I want to commend them for standing in here during these attacks.
Trustee.
No, the mayor does not want to hear
Trustee.
what he said. However,
this is why the meetings get out of order.
Notice when the other pro-Henyard side, they were able to go with remember, they're supposed to be reporting, right? Like each one, she calls them and they're supposed to report their section, right? The water guy and the fire and the police, he's supposed to report what's your report? What numbers you want to present? But she allowed them to gaslight, to condemn, to say whatever, and how great she is. He decides to do it. It's a problem, right? I wonder why.
Can you stay on track with what we're talking about with just corporate bills? If you want to say your comment, you can say your comment after it's a motion and a second on the floor, trustee. Trustee. It's a motion and second on the floor regarding the bills. Can we stay the course?
Getting towards the bills, Mayor.
Trustee, you can make your statement after we're done with the bills. Trustee.
And the budget.
Trustee.
So.
Trustee, but you want to lead though, right? This why we get nowhere. We get nowhere. Because you guys want it your way. Y'all don't follow no Robert rules of order. Y'all want to get out of order when y'all want to talk. But come on. I am worried about it. Don't worry about the residents for the find out what y'all been up to in 1 second. Don't worry about it. But what I'm saying to you is stick to the agenda. We on corporate bills. This is why we stay here all night.
But everybody was giving acknowledgement. So we want to talk about the bills and what the board has cut out. The bills are not being paid currently. At this very moment.
I'm gonna let you out, but I'm just trying to show y'all how y'all be so disrespectful and y'all expect the respect to be respect. You out of order, trustee. Stick to the facts. The facts is on the agenda.
So
go to the bill.
And I will name for a state bank, which is our police vehicles, the Durangos and the Fiats for public works. That bill was approved by the board May of 2023. We received an email stating that those cars will be repossessed if we do not get any payment. That email had been communicated already. Nobody responded. So imagine my surprise 7 months later, I get an email and I forward the email over like I do the other 15 that I've received. No response. And then come in here and say the board cut something out. I'm going over these construction, repaved all those streets. We're happy for that. Board approved that. June of 2023, they are $300,000. Just got an email 2 days ago about the police ammunition. Hasn't been paid. Overdue for 23. That hadn't even been presented to the board.
Wow.
So the board is approving what's needed. Another one, I'm getting calls about electricity, lights not being put on. Residents say the board hasn't approved it. Mead, which is the light poles. For those who are not getting their lights turned on, board approved that. September 2023, lights still not on. Mead still has not received the payment. So this circus that's being put on right now about put something back in the budget, we've seen there, it's been reported, and you know this is going to end up with another video, because we're going to put the documentation out there. Everybody, we can come in here, say what we want to. At the end of the day, vendors are not being paid. Board approved it. The vendors are not being paid. So when you sit here and we talk about how we don't have the only item from the police budget specifically, and I'm saying that I understand from each one, I understand that everybody up there had to say what they were told to say, to be honest.
You do.
But I'm going to say this. No, the police department works hard. The fire department works hard. Public works works hard. That's why I don't take any offense at what's being said, because I know where it's coming from. But if we're going to just talk about this in real terms, the items taken out of the departments was the overtime. And that's because the overtime is being spent in ways that it shouldn't. But if we want to talk about more officers, gladly, we put that in there. And I've just listed several, and I have more items that have been approved by the board. People still haven't received the checks.
Crazy.
Brother Moore, you prayed us in on unity. You prayed us in and came with the most divisive speech I heard in my life. Don't pray for me no more.
Woo! Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, damn, got him. I was like, man, this is like the height of like pissed off. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Yeah, he's cutting through the bullshit. With the, like I said, that grandstanding speech he had with William Moore had. Like, we're getting tired of this. You're getting tired of these people pretending not to know what's going on. Why are these vendors not getting paid by things that everyone approved of? Like, where's the money? But then you still want the trustees to sign off on all of these things. It doesn't make any sense. It's getting to a point where everyone just looks upset. I would be upset too, because it's just not making any sense. And Henyard just seems to be okay with this. Like, some people are perfectly fine in chaos. Like, they feel comfortable in toxic chaos. I'm sure you guys know, like, there's people who have relationships or either at work or personal life, like, they just seem real comfortable with things just not working out, toxic, aggressive, back and forth, where everyone around starts to get that toxic energy. Then you become a little bit of that because you're around it so often. It gets exhausting. Like, if you work for a boss that did that, the first thing I would suggest is you probably should find a different job, because eventually your mental health will be by the way she's behaving. I mean, man, no one wants to be there. No one does.
If we're going to do this and we're going to be honest about it, let's be honest and be direct. But if we're going to sit here and keep doing this, because I really wasn't going to make no speeches. I was going to sit here, but it's just coming. I'm going to read the same things that I read last meeting, because it was given to us again, this meeting to approve, to take off the list. This is nothing new. This is the same stuff last time. But when the mayor doesn't get away, she puts it down there and keeps trying to shove it down your throat until you have to approve it.
But none of this going back
I need to pause when it comes to order in here. You have to give respect. You guys want respect, y'all have to give. I am your leader. I am the one that won by 82%.
Ew. Why do you need to remind people that she is such that? It's just let's rewind it. She has to remind everyone. Most leaders don't need to remind you that they're a leader. You notice that? Like, effective leaders, they don't need to remind you that they're a leader. Like, if someone's yelling, I'm the man, like, if you running things, you don't have to say that, because it's already said. It's like, oh yeah, this guy seemed like, oh, this girl, this woman, oh yeah, definitely running things. Don't need to tell you that.
You have to give respect. You guys want respect, y'all have to give. I am your leader. I am the one that won by 82%. I am the one that carry you, Trustee Jason House, you, and a belcher that never wins anything, over the hump. That's why you guys have your seats that you have before you. So when you get in these board meetings and you act a fool, y'all should stop. Because at the end of the day, all we've been doing, everybody, is fighting since I became mayor in the village of Dalton. I never thought in a million years that my team, the team that I ran with, including Allison Key for the clerk, would sit here and turn on me the way y'all did right, a week, 2 weeks into taking off. That showed me that you guys would have been planning, plotting, meeting. People already been snitching on y'all this entire time. It's sad, but I sit here and I let y'all say whatever y'all want to say. But when the other people want to talk, y'all want to interrupt, get mad, not let them get their point across. Y'all need to stop. Just like I sat here and I took everything y'all said, and then I respond. Y'all got to learn to do the exact same thing, but it gets too hot in the kitchen that you got to jump in and got to engage with people while they trying to get their point across. You guys can make assumptions, say whatever you want up here. You don't know the day-to-day. Y'all get to a board meeting and don't even ask questions before you get to the board meeting. But then we put on a show and try to act like people not paying bills, people owe money, people got all these issues. This is what y'all do. And y'all could have easily, I keep saying what? Call my phone. Call my phone. But nobody in here does it because y'all don't want to amend this. Y'all don't want unity. Y'all don't want to work together. Y'all don't want to do the will of the people. I got a problem with that.
Boy, yeah, it's a lot to take in. Maybe are we done? You guys want to continue to listen to her rant about call my phone, even though they reach out to her and she does not respond. She doesn't respond to media at this point. Like, what? Yeah, she's so open. Her door is open. She's not answering the phone to the people that she doesn't agree with. Everyone is an op. Everyone's opposition. If you're not doing that, the spiel where they all defended her and said, like, you guys suck and she's amazing. If you're not a part of that team, she has no use for you. She has no use for you.
And how dare y'all keep telling my team that they are made to say anything? All my teams are go-getters. All of them. Nobody have to twist their arm, make them do stuff. We don't do that here. They got a mind of their own. And you guys mad because they telling y'all what it is. No one make them say things. They know how to talk. They know what the problems are. Y'all cut their departments. Right? You try to attack the mayor. These are the day-to-day operations that they do, that they govern. But y'all sit down with them and say, hey, Carrera, what do you need for public work? Y'all get all these complaints that go out, all these notices that go out that say, hey, we got a water main break. Hey, we got this going on in town. All these issues. But you never once, if y'all want to be leaders, y'all got to act like it. Y'all know y'all not leaders. Y'all followers. Stop following each other because nobody can lead nobody in your group. Not one of y'all. Y'all sitting here hurting the village, hurting the town. I have a problem with that.
Real leadership right there, guys. Real leadership, right? She's showing the blueprint on how to be a leader.
Then we get up here and every board meeting, and Dan, don't you get up here talking about no 2 meetings when they can't get through the first meeting. Don't do that. We got to get through the first. We can't get through the first meeting as it relates to paying bills or passing.
This is her routine. Basically put everyone down, elevate herself, elevate the people who kept on script, who ran the play. She put the play out. They ran the play the way she wanted to. So she's giving, them the flowers